What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to the After Action Report. Weapon X versus Brotherhood of Mildly Irritable Mutants.
Definitely not evil.
Definitely not evil. I want to get the elephant out in the room out of the way right away. The dice. This game, the dice had such a huge impact on it. I don't think Logan rolled a bad attack on any of his rolls.
He rolled a suboptimal attack against Magneto with his tornado claw. So
yes, he failed to kill Magneto with the tornado.
He only
claw.
did 4 damage with that, so
exactly.
that was disappointing. For him.
Instead of taking out Rogue, Magneto, and Rocket in one activation,
yeah, he was forced to take a second activation. It's very disappointing.
But yeah, the dice are the biggest story of this particular game, and it's always kind of hard to move around that. So first off, Troope, I want to say you handled it very well.
We've been diced many times. It just I've been diced by Logan every time, so I felt that going into this game, and I'm like, well, I have Magneto. I've got 6 dice on defense. I'm just going to be bulky the whole time.
Yeah, that was actually the mind-blowing part of the story. Like, you were throwing a lot of good quality dice down for things, for defense, for attacks. Like, Rocket very early on throwing those 2 6-dice attacks and, like, just nothing into Logan, right?
That was very frustrating. And the worst thing is I had Zola in my roster, and I was like, oh, I probably won't need him against Weapon X. That's not a big deal. You know, like, I'm going to make sure I bulk up. I've got some good hitters. No, it
was, this was a very interesting one because I think on paper, like, all the tools were there for your team to really do well. Rogue came in like a beast on the first activation, did a lot of damage into Sabretooth, forcing me to do a really awkward thing where I'm like just trying to save his bacon with Siblings in Arms, right?
Yep.
And I mean, after that, it didn't really matter because Sabretooth just went down like a friggin' chump anyway.
I was going to say, like, I think all of Sabretooth's rolls were kind of crappy. So
I think he made like 1 attack and it just like did nothing.
Yeah.
He did 1 claw slash and I think he got 1 success, which wasn't even a wild, so there was nothing going on there.
I think all of his defense rolls were kind of crap too. So
they were awful.
Yeah.
They were awful. Meanwhile, the rest of my team, like X23, she didn't fire off the way she typically does, but she still got good. She took like what 2 actions and Toad went down both times.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, can't really argue there. She took out Blob in another action there. Domino she didn't really do a lot, but
she incinerated. She held some points. It was not a bad time with her at all.
No, she just kind of came in and did her thing. And
what do you think of Fury?
Fury Senior, I like the Siblings in Arms in this particular one. Getting Logan or whoever else like an extra little bit of range very early off the hop.
Yeah,
it's basically a Storm Hop.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's a Storm Hop for 2, and because he has that range 4 gainer attack, it's very easy for him to get that extra power. That's actually what Advanced R&D was for.
Awesome.
In this situation. But, excuse me, you put me into a position early on where I did not want to use Advanced R&D to pass that power around, where in reality I probably could have done it over here with like Domino or X23. And because the whole idea was, to move Fury up a little bit. So like, there's a character here, range 2, then Fury, and then like pop Logan or Sabretooth like all the way up here before they've even activated, right?
Very nice.
And it never was really needed. I don't think I didn't even brace this game. Oh man, I could have braced against that throw and saved Sabretooth. That's okay.
He failed you. You failed him. It's fine. Yeah,
exactly. It's just I just neglected him completely.
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing, man? You're the one who got diced hard, right?
But yeah, like I definitely had big brain plans of, okay, I'm gonna bring Wolverine into this little mess over here. Rogue will be over here to help Magneto. I'm gonna use a beam attack. I'm gonna use an area attack. Oh no, it's just the beams, yeah. And I was like, oh, I can't use that with mine. Mind if I cut in? So
yeah, that was just such a man. Yeah, like the tornado claw just popped off like nobody's business. Because what was it? Left Magneto on like 2 health remaining or something like that.
Yeah.
I was able to secure. He already had a hammer, I think it was at the time.
I think
it was the fact that he had the dossier as well.
Yes, you had the hammer and the dossier just puts you up over the top for damage dealing, right?
Yeah, I mean a 10 dice tornado claw is just that is not something you really come back from.
Yeah.
And I was just rolling so many dice, like everything was kind of a quality hit with that particular one. Like Rogue went down really fast with it, like because I KO'd both Magneto and Rocket and I dazed Rogue that round, didn't I?
Yes. Yeah.
It took 2 actions, which I mean, that was hyper efficiency. I should not have been able to do all that. Magneto should not have been that easy to go down.
No. But like Tornado Claw with 10 dice Tornado Claw and 9 dice or 8 dice X-Slash. Yeah, it seems good against most things. So
I actually owe it all to the fact that it wasn't actually a book that we were carrying around. We were carrying around Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff is very powerful.
Yeah, basically it wasn't Logan doing it all. It was just Logan throwing Jeff at everything. And
it's a shark! Oh my god, that's why I can't roll the fence.
Why does it have legs? What's going on here?
And you said it at the start. Magneto is afraid of water. Obviously, if there's a shark here, there's water somewhere.
Clearly, there is water around here somewhere, and it was just Jeff like had a mouthful of water. He was just like spitting water on Magneto. Blood. He was a Squirtle today. He chose Jeff and used water gun.
Ooh,
that's what. It was just Jeff peeing on Magneto. It wasn't even a water gun. We are losing the plot here very quickly. But this is one of those ones that on paper I think you actually had a really solid team. I think Blob was positioned really well to really keep pushing around here, and he did actually push guys around, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my ability to get Fury from over here all the way over here
was pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're mid-line positioning and you got to choose which way you went after I finished deploying all my guys meant that you kind of had control of where the fight was going to happen, right?
Yeah, so. Fury brought a lot of really good repositioning and range to the fight. The original plan was actually for Fury and Domino to just kind of hang out on the back point and just throw pot shots.
That was my plan. I was going to have Toad back here, Blob popping over here, and having Rocket on this point, and Magneto and Rogue gonna pushing up.
Yeah, no, it was kind of crazy how everything kind of came down there. I mean, I thought Sabretooth was going to be my big bruiser going in and kind of controlling the fight.
Yep.
I guess he did in the sense that he blocked things with his face.
Yes. He defeated his opponents by blocking their fists and feet with his face.
But overall, it's it's one of those things where I think Weapon X is one of those teams where it's kind of hard not to have it slightly tuned because so many of the Weapon X members just do things so well, right?
Yeah, they're very. I was going to say single-minded, but that's not the word. It's more
very efficient
and focused on the path that they want. And I need to get a bunch of guys up into your area. I can do that, no problem.
I think the irony is I thought Rogue was actually going to be a much bigger tank for you in this particular match.
Me too.
And at first she was.
Yeah.
Right? At first I wasn't really getting damage through on that, and I thought Magneto was going to really be able to take a lot more. And it's funny how that happens, and I think it's always good to acknowledge that what sort of impact the dice have on this game. And unlike a lot of other games where you have a lot more opportunity to mitigate the dice rolls, because of the mechanics of MCP, if the dice decide to go just a certain way, that's just you're in for a ride.
Yep.
Right? And there's not a whole lot you can do. I think you had some opportunities to kind of claw it back, but the dice never really cooperated with you.
Yeah, and I needed to kind of have big turns like Logan had, and that really wasn't something my list was bringing to the game. So.
If you had even one big turn like Logan, right?
Yeah.
If Magneto had been able to just dummy Sabretooth and then dummy Logan.
Yep.
Right? It's a different fight over on this side of the board. All of a sudden you control 3 hammers. Now, mind you, Hoff and the boys would have got your back twice into Magneto at that point.
I thinking about other things, popping into this side over here instead with Magneto might have been a reasonable thing, and trying to use my big area attack on that might have been okay, but yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. Wolverine is too dangerous to ignore, right?
Yes. And he was sitting there with so many hammers. It was
The fact that he was able to pick up Rocket's hammer and then he picked up both of Magneto's hammers, he is the target. You have to take him out. And I mean, if it wasn't for the exceptional healing, you actually would have had him in one of those attacks.
Yep.
Because I think that was actually off the shrapnel blast.
It was, yeah.
That I just rolled atrociously. I'm just no exceptional healing. Yeah. I have to.
Yep. No. I rolled very well on that attack, but yeah, no.
Yeah. Because what was it? I think you got 5 or 6 damage in there, and I need. Yes. No, you had 5. I had to block at least one of it, and I didn't block a single one.
Yeah.
Is really what it came down to. But yeah, so I guess that's just the story of the game on this one. The dice played a game. You handled it like a scholar and a gentleman, and we'll be back next week to have more fun shenanigans.
Throw down, settle old vengeances against new dice. And
exactly. I'm going to see a team of Baron Zemo and Spider-Woman and Luke Cage
Carnage.
and Carnage. It's just going to be everyone who's dummied me in previous games. But I also want to make a particular note. I lost 11 games in a row. This is my first win in 11 games.
Congratulations.
I would like to thank the dice. and whatever shenanigans unbalance those things. But yeah, I think that's about that. So definitely leave your comments below. Get involved in the conversation. Remember, if you want to join our Discord community, you can join our Patreon and you get access to the Discord as well as supporting the channel. And we will see you next time. Happy wargaming.